Up until very recently, like most Americans, I expressed my support of civil rights largely by talking about it at cocktail parties, I'm afraid. But again, like many Americans, I could no longer pay only lip service to a cause that was so urgently right and in a time that is so urgently now.
Us redefine in this dangerous century what is meant by the American Revolution. We recognize that it is not only in America that the battle for freedom and dignity of peoples is being waged. The struggle toward freedom on the part of the previously subjugated is occurring in capitals and villages all over the world. It is on our awareness of what this struggle means and in the degree of our dedication to it that our future depends.
Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities. Whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated. And this nation, for all its hopes and all its boasts, will not be fully free until all its citizens are free.
When you two met, there was probably an early physical reaction, a romantic attraction that pulled you together, a love appeal that hit you sort of boing.
How did you know?
Well, it happened to me. It happens to some degree to most couples who become happily married. But it takes more than this boing. Have either of you ever been in love before?
Not like this. This is the real thing.
I had a chum in college who had the real thing with 8 successive girls. Oh, it's all right if you have it, fine. It's a very important factor in building a happy marriage.
But I don't want to marry a girl like me. I want to marry a man like him.
I didn't know you felt that way.
Oh, not the kind in most movies or most popular songs, but the real everyday kind of marriage between real people. You understand?
who has this proposition in its constitution, has no justification, none, for the decision to eliminate the fundamental right to marry for a segment of its citizens. It offers no defense, and its chief legal officer, the Attorney General of California, admits that none exists, that this is unconstitutional, and the evidence will show that each of the rationalizations for Proposition 8, invented by its proponents, is without merit. They mention procreation. Procreation cannot be a justification, inasmuch as Proposition 8 permits marriage by persons who are unable or who have no intention or no ability, whatsoever, to have children or produce children. Opening statement / also justification for discrimination. But the evidence for would overwhelm the will of heterosexual people in California, and that children would be taught that it was acceptable for gay and lesbians to marry. Parents were urged to protect our children from that presumably pernicious point of view that it was acceptable for a gay person to marry another gay person. At the end of the day, whatever the motives of the proponents, Proposition 8 enacted.
I became interested in the civil rights struggle out of a necessity to survive.
If it's not harming somebody else, then what does it matter? You can't legislate love.
not a sectional issue. Difficulties over discrimination exist in every city, in every state of the Union, producing in many cities a rising tide of discontent that threatens the public safety. Nor is this a partisan issue. In a time of domestic crisis, men of goodwill and generosity should be able to unite regardless of party or politics. This is not even a legal or legislative issue alone. It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make right. We are confronted primarily with a moral issue. It is as old as the scriptures and is as clear as the American Constitution.